Black women can't win with y'all. Y'all want us to make ourselves small so y'all can feel big. But we're not doing that no more. It's done.
Pull up, pull up, I pull up, pull up, pull up, I pull up, I pull up.
Coucou, what's up? It's your girl Kadija, aka the musingknomad, and I'm back. It's been a while. I haven't actually done a girl video, but the recent activities that have been going on has inspired me to come and just share my perspective on this conversation. So you've already seen by the thumbnail what this is about, and also by the title of this video. I want to get into the discussions that Eboni K. Williams has had with the likes of DJ Envy, Charlamagne the God, Iyanla Vanzant, I think that's her last name, and that lady, I don't know what her name is, that was on The Breakfast Club. Isn't it funny? When black women have standards, you're told to lower your standards. Because by having standards, it means that you are emasculating the black man. You are looking down on the community. Okay, but when the likes of Kevin Samuels and his worshipers, Marlon Williams, T.I., yeah, the ones that came out in support of him after his passing or whatnot, I was just like, oh, Marlon, you disappointed me. But anyways, when the likes of a Kevin Samuels comes out spewing hate, misogyny, etc., y'all are like, y'all women, what are they? I can't remember the exact things that people were saying, but basically, y'all women are expecting too much, basically, and you don't even fit into what a man actually wants. Okay. And obviously, this conversation is more geared towards hetero normative, I guess, relationships, we can just call them that. But I just think it's really funny. I think it's just the double standard, but obviously it's not a surprise. I think one of the things that's really interesting in this conversation that Eboni was having with, I'm just going to say with DJ Envy, because that's the one I want to focus on for the most part. I think it's interesting how when we're talking about the quote unquote black community, it's funny, it seems that black women aren't part of the community. Because when we're talking about the black community, oh, you're talking down about the community, Eboni was just fucking pandering, okay? You're full of shit, Eboni. Or excuse me, DJ Envy was just pandering. He's full of shit, okay? And I say that because if you go to the conversation when, this was years ago, I don't follow the Breakfast Club, I used to years and years ago, but then because Charlamagne is a rapist, alleged, okay? And DJ Envy is he's corny to me. He's just really corny because of them. And I just don't really feel the need to watch it. Like, they're not my cup of tea. It is what it is, right? Talking about the conversation that DJ Envy had with Killer Mike, how he was going in about like making sure his kids were going to be in a private school because public schools had the worst teachers in the country because generally they're not funded, etc., etc. So public school teachers are the worst in the country. And went to say, and I quote, he wanted his kids to be around a network of above average people. Okay, when it suits you, average works, right? But generally speaking, when we're talking about the word average, mediocre, standard, etc., like, it has a negative connotation, right? So when people say that, and because Ebony doubled down and said, no, I'm not for this, I'm not gonna back down, this is what I want, these are my standards, y'all took offense to that, right? And when I say y'all, these are the male identified women, the black men, okay, who really just want to have it. And when I say the black man, I'm talking about specifically the audience of black men, and I call them hoteps, who literally just want to turn over white supremacy and make it black supremacy, patriarchal, obviously, supremacy, right? So it's funny how these were the groups of people that were refusing to actually understand what Eboni was saying. And what she said was really simple, okay? And it's a shame because the group of people that she was talking to, they weren't her intellectual equals. And this is no shade, but it is what it is. And I love one of the things that she said when she was talking to Envy. I don't work in emotions. I work in facts, okay? Because he was very hostile, very aggressive, unnecessarily, right? Now, if this was some dude that was here talking, right? Do you think he would have the same, what's the word I'm looking for? Gumption is not really the word I'm looking for. Do you think he would have the same oomph as he did with Eboni? No. Okay? But he felt in his way, but he's full of shit, okay? You're talking about, and I wish Eboni or somebody would have brought this up, right? Okay, you're pissed at me because I said I wouldn't date a bus driver. I would only date somebody that owned the bus company, okay? So you're mad at me for saying that because I'm quote unquote hurting the community because these are quote unquote essential workers, etc., etc. Okay. Would you want your child to date a quote unquote bus driver, considering you're the same one that was saying you don't want your children in public schools, you want them in private schools so they can be around people that are above average? Then if it was twisted in that way, then he would be tongue-tied, right? But then he wanted to pander and also talk about, oh, I come from a family of this. Good for you. And as Eboni stated, yes, clearly the things that your parents were doing to make sure you had a certain lifestyle, they were doing above average because they were not just doing the quote unquote status quo, which is just, I'm going to work and that's it. I'm just going to get what I need and that's it. No, she's literally talking about wanting a standard of a person or people, whoever in her life, right, who are entrepreneurial, okay, who are exceptional, who want more. They don't just want basic. They don't just want average. And and DJ Envy, like, you fall along the lines of the people that she's talking about because while you are a radio personality, that's not just it. You do other things because you're trying to acquire more wealth, right? So when it suits you, it works. When it doesn't suit you, you want to pander to the community and take offense for what? Like, he is just really, really irritating. I'm just going to go through a couple notes that I mentioned or that I made. Okay, so when Eboni was mentioning statistics and she mentioned how the Indian population in the U.S. earns an average of $100,000 a year, right? And I think she brings it back to the bigotry of low expectation. So if your family, you're raised in a way where you're supposed to have high expectations. We are a family of A's and B's, not C's, because C is average, D is below average, and F is failing. We know what the grading system, the scale is like in the US, right? So her using these terminology, or this very basic terminology, I don't want to say it's terminology, just basic thing to just describe where we're at. She's showing that this community of people, they're doing well. And it's not because they're just doing the basic, right? By us, quote unquote, the Black community, not wanting to go above that, and this is excluding Black women, because obviously when she mentions statistics regarding Black women, we are excelling, right? But by us as a community not going above that, you are literally staying within the caste system that white supremacy wants you to be in. We live in a white supremacist capitalistic patriarchy. That's the world that we live in, okay? And we have to navigate it the way we can. And she's basically saying the only way to kind of overcome this, granted, let's just take out the capitalist part, that most likely is not going to go anytime soon, right? I have personal problems with capitalism, but it is what it is. So let's just say we will remove capitalism from that equation. We have still white supremacy and patriarchy, okay? To overturn that, you need ownership. Whether that is your business, whether that is your home, whatever, ownership. So just working for someone, being an employee for someone is not going to get you to that level, is what she's saying. Very basic. Very, very basic, right? So when we look into the community, we're seeing that Black women are highly educated, financially free, maybe not all, but a lot of us are getting to that level, right? We're owning stuff, whether that is businesses, homes, etc. And then you're basically being told you should date whoever because just have a piece of a man is better than not having a man. This takes me back to the Kevin Samuels episode. This is, I did a review, you guys can check it out here, where Kevin Samuels was going in, this is the only time I ever reviewed him. I never even knew who he was. Don't give a fuck about him. Whatever, go to hell. Don't care. I said what I said, okay? Anyways, so in that review, he literally, or it really was a reaction, was going in on this woman. This woman was saying, yes, I am 30-something years old. I do have a child. I own a business. I make over 100K a year, and I want somebody at my level. Okay, and he was going in on her like, your degree don't mean shit. Okay, you owning shit don't mean shit. Men don't want that. Men don't care about that. And you having a kid just makes you, basically, you're worthless. You're below average, right? So this woman is excelling in the community, doing better than most of the men. You're telling her she's below average, because when men talk about having a partner, it's not, they don't want a partner. They want a woman, a childlike being that you can fuck, basically. Okay. That you can dictate to, tell what to do, where to go, etc., right? When you guys describe your women, it's basically just on the physicality, right? Oh, you don't want her to have kids. Okay. You don't want her this, you have your ideal of what it is. And if that's what your standard is, that is your standard. And if you find a partner or a woman or whoever that agrees to that, more power to you. But now we have the other side of this. You have a woman who's saying, I'm this, I have this, and this, and these are my expectations. I'm not looking down on those that don't have and haven't reached this level. If you're happy where you're at, be happy where you're at. However, for me, what's best for me, this is what I want. Because I know when there is, especially with women who earn more, when you're in a relationship with a partner, with somebody who earns less than you, he's going to feel, quote unquote, emasculated. Not all men, but most men, okay, are going to feel emasculated, are going to try to compete with you, okay? And who wants that? Who wants a relationship where instead of building each other up and having a fruitful relationship, where I'm here with somebody that's trying to compete with me to do better? Because a lot of men, because of your ego, because of what patriarchy has taught you, oh, it's weak to be this, etc., right? A lot of men want to make more than their women, point blank. And if women make more than them, they feel a ways. Okay, remember that this was a TikTok trend that was going on a while back, and it basically said, "What if a woman, your partner, was making 500K? Would you be a stay-at-home husband?" And all the guys were like dancing around, doing all the stuff in the home. I mean, if I'm nothing, it's just that's just like a funny little anecdote. But I thought it was interesting, right? When it's in that situation, oh, it's funny, it's cool. But generally speaking, a lot of guys would not like that dynamic, because for them, that's not being a man. Because being a man means being a provider, means being a this is and this, okay? And a lot of these ideals that we have come from Christianity, or most Abrahamic religion, right? Or what the idea of what a man is. And Iyanla, we're gonna get into her. Girl, I'm so disappointed in her. It's like she talks out of both sides of her neck. 1 minute you're kind of saying this, and then you're like basically just settle and protect yourself though. Have a prenup. Girl, what are you saying? And it's funny because, and I hate to even use this term, but unfortunately this is what it has to be. Iyanla, with regards to what she was basically saying, is like you're acting like a mammy. Right? And I hate using that term, but we're just going to call a thing, right? So you're basically telling a woman that even though you have all these accomplishments, well, if you want to have a man, you're just going to have to just take him. Who cares? But then years ago, you've come out talking down about your partners because they didn't respect you because of the position that you have, and most likely because they were jealous because you're making money. Okay, you came and talked about them, and now you're saying, well, basically I did whoever, but I'm definitely gonna protect myself, which you should. Everybody should protect themselves, right? But it's funny how you're saying this, but then you're saying that. So settle just to have a man, just because whatever. She's an older woman, and unfortunately she has that mindset of still being male identified, even though she's like male identified, but a little bit woke, quote unquote, at the same time. You know what I mean? So it's just, she's just disappointing. And the thing that she said about black women, I'm just gonna say she's talking black women, right? Are men in skirts. Again, so you're feeding back into this idea of gender identity, right? And when I say that, I mean specifically gender identity, masculine, feminine, right? We live in both. You're not 100% masculine, 100% feminine. yin and yang, right? But we have this idea, this illusion that if you're male, you are masculine. If you're female, you are feminine. Okay? And when we look at feminine and masculine, generally speaking, the traits that are considered feminine are weak, docile, everything that kind of placates to the man's ego. Let's just keep it for real. And kind of makes women children. Right? What is considered feminine. Whereas for men, it's everything about power and taking control and, you know, all these things that kind of make men like, well, since it's patriarchy, like the father. So you're this figure, I'm this figure. And it's really weird, but like if you look at it from that perspective, that's really what it is, right? But nobody is fully this or that, right? There is a gray area. I know for sure I have masculinity in me. I have femininity in me. I love, like, look at my suit. This is a male suit. This is a men's two-piece, which I love. And I've actually done some styling videos, which are going to be coming soon because it's probably going to be posted before then. So check them out. But we are all of these things. We encompass all of these things. And to say that Black men are just men in skirts, I'm like, okay, so look at the ideal of what white supremacy considers Black women, right? We're aggressive, we're this, we're that, etc. For me, I don't mind being called aggressive. Obviously, that's a caveat in the sense of who's calling me, you know what I mean? Because in some instances, I can be. I can also be calm. I can also be, we're like plentiful in the facets that we show ourselves to the world. We're not just one-dimensional, okay? So her saying that to me just kind of plays back into how white supremacy positions Black women specifically versus, let's say, white women, right? They're soft, they're this, we're just hard. Well, if we're hard in a world where we have to provide and protect for ourselves, there must be a reason, okay? And I think everybody should provide and protect for themselves. You should. But if we're going back to this idea of protect, provide, etc., well, apparently Black men are not living up to it. They're not doing their part. So Black women are doing more. They're going above and beyond to have the lifestyle that they want. So this question of like, should Eboni or would Eboni date a bus driver? She said, hell no. I would if he owned the bus. Would you ask Kim Kardashian this? Let's bring in race into this, right? Let's bring in the white people. Would you ask Kim Kardashian, would you date a bus driver? And would you be okay? And if she said no, would you take issue with that? No, but when Black women say, this is what I want, it becomes an issue. So let's cut the crap, okay? Let me go back to my notes. And going back to something that I wrote in my notes, right? In one breath, you tell Black women to pick better because Black women, honestly, when it comes to the statistics, you know, it's probably true. Let me not even bullshit. It could be, but I haven't verified this yet, so you can do that if you want to. But we have this idea that Black women tend to be single parents, right? Where the other parent has either just dipped out and doesn't want to take any responsibility for the children that they help to make, right? So not having a choice, you got to do what you got to do. They're taking care of the kids. So when that happens, then we put the stigma on Black women for being single parents, single mothers, right? But we're not blaming the people that have left that are not doing their job, the men. Again, placating back to the men. Women, oh, you're this, you're that, negative. But then the men, they're not there doing their job, but we look down on them. Or on the women, excuse me. So you tell us to pick better because that's why you're in a position that you're in. But then when we pick better, then you tell us basically lower your standards. No. Girl, which one is it? Like, no, it's not. You guys get to dictate and then we have to follow and acquiesce to what you want. No. Okay? Because the levels are changing. We're here and unfortunately you're here because y'all don't want to do the work to come here. Okay? There are some that are doing it. But a lot of them are not because they are just whatever. And yes, y'all can bring in the thing of like, oh, we live in a society that had slavery, white supremacy, all that stuff. Black men experience the same things, and if not worse. What's the excuse? We're still doing what we gotta do, okay? Your choices, even though the white supremacy and slavery and all that stuff does dictate things that we have in our lives right now, okay? However, you have a choice. Now, moving forward, you have a choice. You can go to school if you want to, get a higher education, get a job, get into a field that's making you more money. Or if school is not for you, you can do certain things to get you in a position where you are doing better than where you were before, right? If you want to grow generational wealth, you have to start from somewhere. And unfortunately, yes, we've been in a situation in history, we've seen how white people have wronged us and done some horrible things, and we are owed reparations, even though unfortunately we're probably not going to get it, okay? However, if we're seeing a difference now in the choices that we're making, how that's having an effect in our lifetime currently, black men can also come to the level and meet us here. It's not just us going there and then y'all doing nothing. And honestly, in relationships where like one partner earns more than the other, regardless if it's male, female, or vice versa, there is a power imbalance. And that's why, quote unquote, these men feel emasculated because they're like, oh, you have more money than me. That means you can kind of, and a lot of women, because they want to fit into this ideal of what femininity is, are going to just kind of make themselves small so they don't, quote unquote, emasculate a man and then have some dude come walk all over you in your house trying to run shit. No. But at the end of the day, whoever people decide to be with, to partner with, that is your choice. Let's not try to conflate what she's saying. Y'all understood exactly what she was saying, but you're placating to your audience, you're pandering to your audience to make it seem that she's specifically attacking the black community to say y'all are shit because y'all are black men, y'all are lazy, y'all don't want to do better, and because of that I look down on you and I wouldn't date you because ew, I can do better. No, she's saying I come from a family where I was expected to do my best, if not more. And because of that expectation, I want somebody that's going to have the same mindset, okay, where we can advance in our future. I'm not going to settle for just basic. And like she mentioned, I think this was in the podcast, right? Like she gave an example of somebody that she dated who was a lawyer who was earning like $400,000 a year. Good money, but she is saying it's not about the money. It's the fact that you're still striving to become a partner rather than creating your own firm. Again, it's about the mindset. So at the end of the day, I'm so proud of her. I am not familiar with her because I've never listened to her podcast with Dustin, even though I do listen to the Friend Zone. And I know she was in one of the Housewives, I'm not sure which one. I'm not particularly familiar with her, but when I listened to a bit of some of the clips that I did hear, I was like, get it, girl. Double down, talk. Like, please, we're not playing these stupid games. Like, you're in your feelings. You're trying to be hostile and aggressive towards me because I'm telling you what it is. Feel how you want to feel. Because at the end of the day, DJ Envy, Charlamagne, Iyanla, etc., you would not tell your child, yes, just get a C, a D, whatever. No, that works for you. Fine. No, you are going to tell them, I want you to do better, okay? Because I want you to have a better future, okay? I don't want you to struggle. So let's cut the crap. But anyways, those are my thoughts. I just wanted to share that. If anything moves me in the future, like topics like this, I might do responses to it. And voila. But anyways, thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And your girl will be back soon for a new video. Peace out, bisous, and hugs.